scared black man sweating. I see snakes. I'm sweating. I see snakes. I'm sweating. Shout out to Australia. Shout out to my brother all the way in Australia. I love you. My brother Robert. We got some more snakes. Oh man, we reacted to the red-bellied black snake. Top 10 things you didn't know about the red-bellied black snake. I'm scared. Oh, I'm so scared. You know a black man is scared. Oh, I'm so scared. But my brother sent this over, man. And I'm scared. But we got the wicked wildlife. And like I say, if you feeling adventurous, we going on an adventure today. That's what we doing. If you scared, they used to say if you scared, go to church. Yeah. I don't know. I might have to go to church. I don't know. I'm scared. But let's get into it. Shout out to my brother Robert. I want to send love to my brother Robert and his family all the way in Australia. And thank you for always just being an amazing brother. Always loving on me. And always giving me something new to check out, man. I'm scared. I love you.
G'day. It's Nick and welcome to Wicked Wildlife. Now, if you've been watching our videos for very long at all, you'll know this guy here. This is Brutus, our red-bellied black snake.
Oh, he done named the snake Brutus. Oh, Brutus. That sounds like a brutal name. Brutus. Shout out to anybody that's named Brutus. You might be a badass. Brutus is a badass name. Brutus. Shut up. What's up, Brutus? What's happening, Brutus? Brutus, what's going on? Brutus, don't beat my ass.
Who's quickly become a real star of the channel. But our red belly video from several years ago is also one of our most popular videos out to date. And in this video, I thought I'd share with you 10 facts, some of which
10 facts
haven't made it into our original red-bellied black snake video, which I think you might not know. So in this video, we're sharing 10 facts about the red-bellied black snake you don't know. Stick around, guys. Now, before we get into it, there is one message I'd like to put out there to all the would-be snake enthusiasts. Now, while it's great that you like snakes, and while I totally agree that the vast majority of snakes aren't the mean animals we make them out to be, here in Australia and around the rest of the world, a single bite could be fatal. So this is not a video designed to give you any ideas of how to handle snakes, and Brutus here is not a wild snake. He's a captive-born animal used in educational displays every single day of his life. So he is a friendly snake. Wild snakes out there, they're not out to get you, but a single slip-up could be your last. So leave the snake handling to the professionals, sit on down, and enjoy our 10 facts. Let's get into it. Number 1. The red-bellied black snake is actually...
I'm guessing he got anti-venom like in his pocket. He got anti-venom in his pocket. He got to have anti-venom in his pocket. Yeah, because I bet you $10 right now. If I was holding that snake would bit me in my thumb. He would have bit me in my arm. He probably would have seen these tattoos and got scared and thought somebody was trying to do something to him. Yeah. OkayRickk would have passed out that day. Damn.
Actually, the first venomous snake in Australia to have been...
The first venom. Let me go back. The first venomous snake in Australia. Oh Lord, Australia. I love Australia, man, but I'm scared, man.
Number 1. The red-bellied black snake is actually the first venomous snake in Australia to have been described by Western science, even though it wasn't the first one observed. You see, back in 1790, John White, who was a naturalist who was aboard the first fleet, described a snake that matches the description of the eastern brown, but he never formally gave it a name. Whereas 4 years later, George Shaw, another zoologist, wrote a formal description of the red-bellied black snake, introducing it to Western science. However, in his original description, he describes it as a harmless, non-venomous species, which simply isn't true. So, while at first we thought it was a non-venomous snake, it turns out it is the first venomous snake described by Western science here in Australia. Number 2. The red-bellied black snake was briefly put in the genus Naya, making it a Cobra. You see, in the 1790s, we might have thought it wasn't a venomous species, but it didn't take us long to figure out that wasn't really the case.
Man, it is beautiful too, man. I ain't gonna lie. I'm scared as hell. I'm shaking in my kneecaps right now, but man, that is a beautiful snake, man. Like, that's a bad colorway, man. That black and the red, like, yeah.
50 years, there was a lot of debate about exactly what family this snake fitted into. And one German zoologist briefly placed the red-bellied black snake and its cousin, the king brown or mulga snake, in the genus Naya, which makes them cobras. Now, of course, today we know that this isn't the case. They are elapids just like cobras, but they're not actually cobras. So today, the black snake family is what they fit into. But for a period of a few years' time, some zoologists thought that here in Australia, we had a couple of species of cobra, the red-bellied black snake among them. Number 3, the red-bellied black snake was once believed to be sexually dimorphic. Now, sexual dimorphism is basically where males and females look visibly different. So generally, different colours in the case of reptiles. And this sounds crazy considering the red-bellied black snake is one of the only snakes in Australia that has very little variation in colour. But early herpetologists here in Australia accidentally mistook eastern brown snakes for a female form of the red-bellied black snake. So in early records, we thought that these guys were sexually dimorphic, with the males being black with red bellies and the females being plain brown. Of course, today we know that's not the case, but briefly, we thought that red-bellied black snakes were sexually dimorphic. Number 4, the red-bellied black snake gives birth to live young. Now, this might not sound that crazy, because a lot of our snakes in the southern part of Australia, like tiger snakes and copperheads, also give birth to live young. But what makes the red belly unique is it comes from a family or a genus, the black snake family, where all of its close relatives lay eggs. Now, the real benefit to giving birth to live young in a cold climate anyway, is that if you lay eggs, you're relying on one place being warm enough, dry enough, the right humidity and temperature for eggs to incubate. Whereas giving birth to live young, you get to carry the embryos inside your belly from warm place to warm place, meaning that live-bearing reptiles generally do far better in cold, wet climates than their egg-laying counterparts. And this has enabled the red belly to live in habitats that all the other black snakes don't thrive in. Number 5, the red-bellied black snake is actually responsible for about 16% of snakebite here in Australia. Now, this was calculated between the years of 2005 and 2015
that's not that
by
bad,
scientists running what we now know as the Australian Snakebite Project. And interestingly, this was almost the exact same amount of bites as the tiger snake, who is the second most common cause of snakebite death in Australia. So while the same number of people were bitten by red bellies versus tiger snakes, we had 4 deaths from tiger snakes in that 10-year period and 0 from red bellies. In fact...
that ain't that... Okay, that's good, right? Robert, only 4 people died, man. Rest in peace, man.
We can't find any records of a healthy adult human being having been killed by a red-bellied black snake. Now, this isn't to say that it's not medically significant, not venomous enough to kill you, but thanks to modern first aid, antivenom, things like this, the red-bellied black snake is not really on the list of snakes likely to kill a human being here in Australia.
Okay, that's cool. I like that, Robert. I like that right there, man. I like what he just said.
Study that I found interesting, though, is that in New South Wales, vets found that the red-bellied black snake is the snake most likely to bite and envenomate dogs. Now, as a general rule of thumb, these snakes are fairly uninclined to bite, but whether this is because these guys are being sought out by dogs and basically caught and put in a situation where they've got no choice to bite, whereas something like a brown snake might be quicker to get out of the way, the red-bellied black snake is responsible for more pet bites in New South Wales than any other species. Whilst, as far as people, it comes second to things like the brown snake and a smidge behind the mainland tiger. Number 6, red-bellied black snake bites are pretty painful bites, especially as far as Australian snakes go. You see, the vast majority of Australian snakes are strongly neurotoxic. They shut down the nerve system, but it's largely painless. Red-belly bites cause an awful lot of local pain, swelling, and you can even cause necrosis, basically loss of the digits, and in some black snakes, loss of a limb. On top of that, red-belly bites experience things like headache, nausea, vomiting, and a really unusual feature from red-belly bites is some people experience what we call anosmia, meaning loss of sense of smell, which can either be temporary or even permanent. And this is recorded not just in the red belly, but in their other black snake cousins, like the collets black snake as well.
Oh, man. Can't taste the hamburger no more. Can't taste the french fries and all the good stuff and the nice fruits and juices. And you can't taste and smell nothing. It's like COVID. Oh. And if you had COVID over here, man, you couldn't smell or taste. You know what I'm talking about, man. When I had COVID, it took away my smell and taste for 2 months, man. I was miserable. So to lose it permanently, I don't know what I'll do, man. To lose it permanently, I don't know what I'll do.
So a painful bite that causes some very unusual side effects. Number 7, red-bellied black snake bites are treated using tiger snake antivenom. Now, there is a black snake antivenom, and it can be used to treat the red-bellied black snake bite, but it's made using the venom from a king brown or a mulga snake, partially because he gives more venom in a bite than any other snake in Australia, so you don't need to keep too many of them, and because it's representative of the bites of most of the other black snakes. Now, it can be used to treat a red-bellied black snake, but tiger snake antivenom, when it's used instead, needs a lot less of it, which means it's not only more cost-effective, but the less you have, the less chances you have of any significant side effects. So if you're bitten by a red-bellied black snake, plan A is to give people tiger snake antivenom. You need less of it, so it's cheaper and it's safer. Number 8, the red-bellied black snake is famous for being a snake eater. And because of this, a lot of people in rural Australia say if the red-bellied black snake's around, he's a good snake to have because he's going to eat up all the brown snakes and you don't have to worry about them. And while this is partially true, it's only partially true. You see, the vast majority of the red-bellied black snake's diet is things like frogs. They'll also take things like skinks, dragons, other lizards, other venomous snakes, even other red-bellied black snakes, as well as mice and things like this. So yes, he will eat some snakes, including venomous snakes.
Sheesh.
But a 4-foot red-bellied black snake like this guy here isn't going to eat a 5-foot eastern brown snake. In fact, there's just as many records of brown snakes eating black snakes, but this guy is known to be a snake eater. He'll eat pretty much whatever he can find, snakes included.
Oh, wow.
Number 9. While the red-bellied black snake is one of the most commonly encountered snakes throughout southeastern Australia, in many places, its population is decreasing. And this is for a couple of reasons. The first one is habitat type. These guys are generally associated with waterways, damp places where they can live off, at least for the first part of their life, things like frogs. And unfortunately, we're draining a lot of wetlands and the country's drying out, which means that a lot of red-belly habitat is simply changing. On top of this, frog populations have plummeted in huge parts of Australia, whether it's from pesticide use, introduced diseases, things like this. Their food source is becoming absent from large places. Now, while one food source is disappearing, there's another food source that's arrived, and this one's not a good one, and that is, of course, the cane toad. And throughout parts of their range, red bellies have been massively reduced in numbers by cane toads, mostly on sort of the invasion front. Wherever they first arrive, the numbers of anything that eats them plummets, and they recover later on. So, for a number of reasons, red-bellied black snakes overall are probably declining population-wise. And lastly, number 10. While cane toads have certainly had a fairly dramatic impact on red-bellied black snakes since their arrival, in less than 100 years, the red belly has showed a remarkable ability to adapt and evolve to the presence of these invasive amphibians. You see, in the areas that cane toads have been the longest, we've found that red-bellied black snakes have evolved physiologically. They've actually adapted a certain level of tolerance to cane toad toxin. Not enough to go eating them as much as they like, but enough that they might eat them, get sick, and learn their lesson. They've also changed physically in areas where they've been exposed to cane toads for a very long time. The populations have heads that are smaller than other parts of the country and bodies that are longer, which means they can now only eat a smaller toad, which is potentially a sub-lethal dose. They've also changed behaviorally, and in captivity we've found that snakes that have came from areas where cane toads have already been, when they're offered a cane toad in captivity, seem to be naturally sort of hesitant to eat them, whereas snakes from south of their range have no worry about eating cane toads. They'll eat it and they'll die. They haven't learnt the lesson. So red-bellied black snakes, while they're certainly something we need to look after, we certainly need to be aware that cane toads and habitat loss and population changes in frogs are having an impact. As far as cane toads goes, these guys might be getting over the hump and adapting to one of our human mistakes.
Wow.
So there you go, guys. That's 10 interesting facts about the red-bellied black snake that I think most of you guys wouldn't have known. But you let me know in the comments, how many of these facts were new to you? How many did you know? Or what other facts is there that you think I should have posted down instead? But on top of that, I hope you've enjoyed the video.
I enjoyed the video. I'm scared. Oh, man. The snake eats snakes. Oh, man. You get bit by it, they gonna use the tiger snake venom. Oh, Lord have mercy. Oh, man. But they say it won't kill you, though. And that you maybe can survive a red-bellied black snake bite. But then again, they say if you get bit by one, you might lose your taste and your smell permanently. And I'm scared. Robert, god damn it. I don't know, man. Australia, man. I don't know. I love y'all though, man. I'm scared. Shit, I don't know. Oh man, the real red belly black.